My job ruined my marriage. A cautionary tale. Don't let work destroy your life. I met my soon-to-be ex-wife 8 years ago. We loved each other and had a great time together. I got a high-pressure job a few years in that my bosses claimed would be worth it in the long run. You know the story. I embraced the grind lifestyle. Worked late. Worked weekends. Worked holidays and on vacation while my wife sat around by herself. I kept telling her it was for our future and would eventually pay off. She begged me for years to quit. Said she didn't care about the money. I chose wrong. 2020 sucked for financially, but I was assured by my boss that 2021 would be amazing for me. I worked every weekend. I worked the day of my wedding. We cut our honeymoon short so I could get back to work. I was chasing the pot of gold 'cause I wanted to buy her a house. Well, 4 months post-wedding, my wife leaves me, ending our 8-year relationship. She told me I always chose work over her and didn't like what I turned into. I begged her to stay but said I just needed till the end of the year to cash out and I would quit. Nope, she left. Was tired of spending her weekends alone and felt unloved. I kept my head down and threw myself into work to try to forget and maybe find some meaning in the destruction of my marriage. My job fucked me on my bonus and raise. Told me it was a hard year for the firm and they couldn't pay me what they promised. My marriage ended up being worth nothing. I took 2 weeks off. Came back for 1 week. And quit. I made sure they knew I blamed them and made sure to delete 6 months of work on the way out the door. Fuck your job. Enjoy your weekends. Money won't buy you happiness. If you're lucky enough to find someone who loves you, focus on that and never let go. Learn from my mistakes. Reddit. Edit. Wow, didn't expect the hate. People. I was trying to give my wife a good life. I admitted I made the wrong choice. Not looking for sympathy. Trying to warn you to avoid my mistakes. For those reaching out with condolences. Thank you. For you guys telling me I fucked up. I know. Fuck you for rubbing it in. Maybe read the whole post before judging. I used to work overtime on weekends thinking it was worth it. It's never worth it. I'm so sorry you had to experience this. I left my most recent job because I saw it having an effect on my marriage. My boss scheduled me for client meetings the day after my wedding. Similarly, my wife kept telling me that we were fine with money. We'd make it work. I'm so glad I listened to her. Hope everything works out for you in the end. Fuck those vultures. My job fucked me on my bonus and raise. Told me it was a hard year for the firm and they couldn't pay me what they promised. Did they also pat themselves on the back that year about record profits? I'm sorry you had to go through what you did. You really have to find a healthy work-home balance. A job will take anything you give and look at you like they expected more. It will never be enough. So you absolutely must form your own boundaries in regards to your professional life. It's a rough lesson to learn the hard way. I wish you the best. Heard a story from a coworker about a couple in his family. Husband was an executive in a tech company working crazy hours. Always promised that when he retired, they would finally get time together. 6 months into retirement, he can't stand being home and not producing anymore. And he goes back to work. She divorces him after 30+ years of marriage. He has all the money in the world. And now he's alone. What a fucking waste. You only get one crack at life. Spend it on things that really matter to you. I worked just like that when I was single. That company ended up selling out for a big payday and the people who bought it only kept a couple of employees. I took a job just to get by. Same industry but much smaller role. Strictly 9 to 5. I met the woman that became my wife. While I was dating, a guy from my old company offered me a position in his new company. Told me I could set my own salary. Great benefits. But I knew it would be a minimum of 70 hours a week. Plus commute. I chose the girl. We've been married 23 years now. But I sometimes regret not taking the job. After hearing this story, I regret nothing. This makes me feel better about staying home with my wife and ignoring my boss trying to call me about overtime. I'm a teacher and this really hits home for me. I've given so much of myself to this job and I don't want to put my husband through it anymore. All he's ever known is me being stressed out about grading and lesson planning. I'm 25, married, and working the grind life. My wife just complained about the same thing. I brushed it off. But now I'm reevaluating. Thank you, Op. I needed to read this. I have worked nights and weekends for last year straight. I enjoy my job. And I love my coworkers. But it has been badly affecting my relationship with my LP. He works normal MF hours. So even though we live together, our schedules are exactly opposite. It sucks. I have tried several times to change my schedule. But it just is never a good time. I'm tired of missing out on my life with him for a job. He's more important. I'm at an office RN where 80% of the men who have been there for years are in the midst of divorces. When I was hired, one of the bosses even laughed when I said I was getting married. And made a joke about how I'd get divorced eventually. At some point we've got to admit it's not the person. It's the environment. And, you know, that we've all been brainwashed by capitalism. I'm sorry, Op. Something similar happened to me. Money is not worth anything without the people you love. A lot of hate is going to Op for not recognizing that it was their choice to choose work over marriage. But I think Op understands it was their fault. They know they did wrong in the choices they made. So they're sharing their mistakes so we know not to choose work over marriage, life. I am so sorry. I can't imagine the frustration, loss, and anger you must be feeling. Good for you for quitting and deleting stuff as you went. This is why Belle left Ebenezer Scrooge. Lesson learned, friend. You'll be okay. Take care of yourself. I saw this play out with my old mentor and took a different path. Sorry to hear that this happened to you too. I've been in your ex-wife's position. And I ended up leaving as well. No hate. It's a hard lesson to learn and I'm sorry it took you so long and cost you so much. I just remember that by the time we separated, it wasn't difficult at all emotionally because it had been over for a long time already. I lived alone for months at a time. Everyone tried to make me feel guilty because I was fed the same excuses about how it was for our future, our house, our retirement. But I couldn't help but wonder, what if I didn't make it to that age? I didn't want to waste away alone, only ever worrying about money, work, savings and investments. I wish you well for your future relationships. Oddly learned this lesson as a child from Adam Sandler in the movie Click. I hope things get better for you. My dad put in all the hours for decades and died at 55. Right when he started to realize that money and work didn't bring happiness. If I learned nothing else from him, it's not to kill myself for a career while my life flashes by. I'm sorry that you had to learn the hard way. But you are still alive. Make sure you don't rinse and repeat.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.